San Francisco, 1974, a city of counterculture, freedom, and revolution. Beneath the fog-covered streets, something sinister was lurking. Artist with a dark secret, body count that would haunt this city for decades, is the story of the Doodler. More than 45 years ago, a serial killer wreaked havoc in San Francisco. He sketched men in gay bars, enticed them away with his drawings, then stabbed them to death. He became known as the Doodler. He was never caught. How did this killer operate? Why, after all this time, has no one ever been convicted? The first Doodler homicide occurred in January of 1974. Eventually, 6 victims would be found murdered in the Ocean Beach and Golden Gate Park area between 1974 and 1975. Doodler, described as a black male between 19 and 25 years old, attacked white gay men, meet them at after-hours gay clubs or restaurants, lure them out for sex, and then stabbed them to death in what investigators called rage-killing attacks. His method was almost artistic in its cruelty. Frequented gay bars in the Castro and in Polk Gulch. Pick a guy at the bar, sit at a table and sketch them. A good artist. He would walk up to the guy and say, "My doodle? Charming, disarming, and deadly." The suspected serial killer is known as the Doodler because one surviving victim said the killer was a cartoonist who doodled during their late-night dinner. That victim met the suspect after the bars closed in July of 1975 at the Truck Stop Diner near Market and Church Streets, where the suspect drew animal figures on a napkin. That survivor lived, but many others did not. The bodies of 4 victims were found on Ocean Beach. A 5th was discovered at Golden Gate Park. What made investigators believe a single suspect was responsible was that all the victims had similar injuries, including stab wounds to the upper chest and back. The killer would meet men in bars, sketch them, and then convince them to hook up in a park or on a beach. Then he'd stab them to death. So why was he never caught? The answer is complicated and heartbreaking. In the 1970s, investigators were laser-focused on other notorious cases like the Zodiac Killer, the Zebra Killings, and Patty Hearst. Also, the SFPD was not gay-friendly, and this community did not trust officers. 3 prominent victims, including a famous entertainer who survived the suspected killer's attack, have thus far refused to testify because they still fear being outed as gay. The stigma of the era silenced the very witnesses who could have stopped him. Decades passed. The case went cold, but detectives never gave up. Detectives released an updated age progression suspect sketch of the unsolved Doodler serial killer case in 2023 in an attempt to revive the investigation. SFPD increased the reward for information leading to the identification, apprehension, and conviction of the suspect from $200,000 to $250,000. Cops identified a suspect back in 1976, but never compiled enough solid evidence to build a case against him. The case would likely still be virtually unknown today, if not for a phone call from the lead cop on the case, San Francisco Police Detective Dan Cunningham, to San Francisco Chronicle reporter Kevin Fagan. That call launched Fagan on a years-long investigation and became the seed of an 8-episode podcast produced by the San Francisco Chronicle in partnership with Sony Music. The story was finally getting the attention it deserved. The case has never been solved, though police believe they have one suspect who is still alive and living in the Bay Area. The fact that people are interested in it now means we're getting closer, because for years it went unnoticed. A lot of families have been terribly damaged by this act of his. Somewhere out there, a man who once charmed strangers with a pencil and a smile may still be walking free. The Doodler was never caught, but he is not forgotten. If you know anything about this case, anything at all, the families of 6 victims are still waiting for justice. 50 years later, they deserve answers.